Let's see if you don't break the whole thing.
My name is Michael Jimenez. Mike Jimenez, if you will. This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from San Antonio, Texas. Joe Garcia producing today's show. It's going to be a fun show because we have a lot to get into today, sports fans. We've got the Spurs playing their first tournament game, in-season tournament game tonight at the Frost Bank Center.
Go frost yourself.
We got the Dallas Cowboys back in action this weekend. Talk about the Houston Texans a bit.
UTSA?
UTSA football. What happens if the Niners lose again? They play Jacksonville this weekend. What if the Niners lose their fourth game in a row? Lots to get into when it comes to
the curse,
that.
right? Kittle's putting that F the Cowboy shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, karma.
Now, I referenced you on Twitter earlier today, notified you on something that Michael Ryan said from the Dan Lebitard show.
Oh, I briefly
Wembanyama.
saw that. Yes.
So grab that because I want to discuss that pretty early in the show.
Yeah.
Grammy nominations announced today, and we're bringing back the movie review. That is right. The nostalgic movie review. Last night, for the first time ever, I saw
First time ever.
I saw a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Jean-Claude
Van Damme or Van Damme.
You can say it Van Damme or Van
I'll
Damme,
do Van Damme.
however you want.
I'll go with Van Damme. I watched Bloodsport for the first time ever. And everyone keeps telling me that I'm going to rip it to shreds. Do you have that much faith in me? That little?
Yeah, we have that little faith in you, man. You couldn't even make it through Big Trouble in Little China.
Well, Big Trouble in Little China was a crappy ass
What did you
movie.
say? Like 10 minutes in, I'm out.
It was the worst movie
out.
I've ever seen. Dude, I lasted about 35 minutes of Big Trouble in Little China. It was a trash movie. Trash movie. But
you made it through Delta Force.
I made it through Delta Force, and I gave Chuck Norris's Delta Force a good review. I gave it like a B+.
Yeah, you said it fell apart at the end, but it was very good.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining. It had a plot.
Yeah.
So Bloodsport we'll be discussing today towards the end of the show. We may have Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs on to discuss because I texted him on the way in here, and I was like, dude, let's go ahead and make that happen. He says 11:15. We can do the movie review at 11:15. Lots to get into today. Dude, if you want to be part of the show, go on to our YouTube page, like and subscribe. You can leave a comment. We see some comments already coming on in. Mike Baez, man, making the headlines this week with his Bear County Social apparel.
Yeah.
With the Fred's Fish Fry.
Congratulations to him,
Spurs gear. Now, how does that work, man? Because I don't want him to get in trouble.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do? Come after him? They're going to be like, we're going to send you a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cease and desist from Fred's Fish Fry. Or from Frost Bank or from
the Spurs themselves.
Yeah.
No, they did go after Spurs Jesus, but that's a whole different animal.
What did they do?
Oh, he was peddling his wares. He was back in the day. He decided to make like merchandise, candles, stickers, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it had the Spur logo. The Spurs took offense to it. They actually canceled his social media accounts, for copyright infringement.
Really?
And the only way they gave him his accounts back or access to them, he had to have a meet and greet with them, go to the AT&T Center at the time, sit down with the big wigs and kind of, hey, don't do that again. Slap on the wrist.
Was he an employee of them at any point?
Was he what?
Was he an employee at any point?
No. He's never been an employee. He's just a super fan, man.
Yeah.
He just grew to fame because he was a guy at the game that decided to don the Spurs, go over there. The Spurs Jesus was born, and there you go.
Now, when we went to the game on Sunday, he was at Rock and Brews. Halftime, we make our way over to Rock and Brews. I can't stand Rock and Brews. It does nothing for me. It's like everyone's all packed in there. And it's like, here's your beer. That'll be $15.
Oh, yeah, it's $15.
But Spurs Jesus was there. And you were saying that he's charging for photos?
I said I wouldn't be surprised if he charges for photos.
Yeah.
Because this
Cash App or Venmo, please.
Bro. Like, everybody's like, oh, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He charges everybody to do anything, I mean, I get it. But at the end of the day, man, it's like, he's just like overrated,
It got tiring.
It's tiring, dude.
It really did at some point.
I'm sure he's a cool guy.
I don't know. Guy's tall, dude.
No, he is tall. I'm sure he's a cool guy, but I just don't care for the bit.
Josh Jimenez, no relation, says Spurs Jesus took an opportunity and capitalized on it. John Williams says, good morning from Dallas. Go Spurs, go. Spurs back in action tonight after losing 3 in a row. That game against the New York Knicks, I'll be honest with you, I watch every single Spurs game. I didn't watch that one. I was refereeing high school basketball that night. When I got home, my phone was blowing up. I got on Twitter, and I saw everyone bitching and complaining about the Spurs' performance. So I was like, do I really want to watch that? Although I do hear that Sohan was the only Spur that looked good that day, or at least looked decent.
No.
But the Spurs taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Frost Bank Center. Timberwolves coming in at 5-2, but get this. T-Wolves 5-0 at home, 0-2 on the road.
You're telling me that the Spurs have a chance?
They have a chance, and right now tickets as low as $17 on SeatGeek or on Ticketmaster.
Hey, but that's before the fees. After they get you with the fees, that's more like closer to, yeah, exactly. And not including parking, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. Minnesota favored tonight by 6.5 points. The over-under set at 225. We may have a Devin Vassell sighting tonight.
No.
And that's one reason why I'm not too worried about the Spurs right now. I know a lot of fans are like, the sky is falling.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, I was asking the question, who is the best Spurs player?
It's Devin Vassell. But you see, the thing is, if we're going to have a Devin Vassell sighting, I just want him to be 100%, man. I don't want don't want them to rush him out there and he's still like 80%. He can get re-injured, then he's going to miss more time.
Well, I know that, but it was a tweak of the groin. He missed the second half of the game in which he got hurt in.
Hey, man, the women make your legs weak. We've learned that already.
They weaken the legs, Rock. No, but that's the thing. It's like, what do they have in common? What do these 3 losses have in common, aside from the fact that the Spurs got their asses handed to them? The fact was that Devin Vassell was not there. And Devin Vassell spreads the floor. He is one of the few good veterans on this team. And I don't know if I want to call him a
well-rounded player that the Spurs have. He does it all.
He's their best player. Now, the most talented player might be Victor Wembanyama, but he's just 19 years old. You need to have a Devin Vassell out there. And I want to see Vassell out there the next 2 games against the T-Wolves and against the Miami Heat here at the Frost Bank Center. See how the Spurs play with him. Now, I saw some notes online saying that there would be no minutes restriction on Devin Vassell, so he might go out there and play 25 to 30 minutes. That would be great. If they come back and play well because he's there, that's good. What we have learned, though, is the Spurs are not very deep.
Oh, no, not by any stretch of the means. Yeah.
Wemby goes down, Vassell goes down.
They're done.
It's just not going to happen. They need to be healthy.
Well, this is one thing that Spurs fans have to realize. Basically, you have the same personnel from last season. You have Wemby.
Mm-hmm.
Wemby makes the team better, no doubt. When he's out, the team looks horrible on defense. And why did Spurs fans think that the team is just automatically going to flip a switch this season and be better defensively? They weren't better last season. They might be a hair better with Wemby, but it's still the same personnel, the same carryovers from last season to this season, and you're still seeing kind of the same results.
No, I get that.
They are.
I get that, but the belief was that Wemby was going to open it up, and to some extent he has.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, think about it this way: the Spurs record is what, 3-5.
Yeah,
right. Started off 3-2. My belief is the Spurs are 3-2 and 0-2 without Vassell. That's basically it, or 0-3 without Vassell.
And their record indicates that.
Yeah. So that's the thing. You need to have your best player out there. And it might sound weird that Devin Vassell is that guy, but I mean, you take the best player off of any team. You take Jokic off of Denver, they're not as good. You take LeBron off of LA, they're not as good. You take the best player, our best player happens to be Devin Vassell.
Yeah.
That's a guy that goes out there that shoots 20, 21 points per game, knocks down threes, can lock down on defense, can get you 4 or 5 assists per game, can get you 4 or 5 rebounds per game, get you a steal or 2. Devin Vassell is our guy. He is our guy. So we're 0-3 without him. He is back. We're back at full strength. Maybe the Spurs can get some home cooking, get that home crowd going, maybe win a couple of games here, get back to 500. I'm just saying that it's possible.
We're going to see. It's the start of the in-season tourney for the Spurs, so you know what that means. Here comes the court.
Yeah, the court change is going to be a lot different.
The throwback jerseys,
man, people were buying them like crazy at the Frost Bank Center.
You saw all the merch. They had the windbreakers on, that they had T-shirts, everything you could think of.
And I keep hearing that this is inspired by Hemisphere Arena back in the day, the 1960s. No. That is Bill Miller's inspired. That looks like Bill Miller's and the Spurs had a baby.
You know, somewhere Spurs Nandez is smiling.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Now, here's the thing. Victor Wembanyama was not able to put this team on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Now, when Vassell went down against the Suns, he was able to do that towards the last 4 minutes of the game when he had that 38.10 rebound performance. But since then, Wemby has struggled without Vassell there. Now it has gone from being he's too much hype to, oh my God, he's going to be the next GOAT, to now chance of overrated at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of the Dan Le Batard show.
Yep.
Okay. People would always ask me the question back when I was on the radio, who did I want to be? You know, oh, you wanted to be Skip Bayless. Oh, you wanted to be, Stephen A. Smith. No, really. The one that I really liked the most, because they incorporated sports, pop culture, and nostalgia in a variety of different ways, was the Dan Le Batard show. Now, he has a producer that I think is very, very funny. His name is Mike Ryan, Michael Anthony Ryan. Seems to be a pretty good guy, right? But his thoughts on Victor Wembanyama right now are so ridiculously stupid that I thought it was shtick. But then I think about it even more. I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is what a lot of America thinks or wants to think about our savior there, Victor Wembanyama, our Spurs savior. Let's play from the very beginning. This is Mike Ryan on the Dan Le Batard show.
You want the take that Mike has now pretty exclusively nationally, which is, and this is odd, because nobody roots for Goliath. But Mike is alone in rooting against Wemby. And one of the reasons that you want the take, I think, Chris Cody, is because well, wait a minute. If Jokic is going to be met with this kind of yawning indifference because he's unfair, if I make another person 7-4 and unfair, what am I doing to your sport if you can't beat these people?
Yeah, but Jokic is 20 times the player that Wemby is.
That's a
No.
little extreme.
No. If Wemby were 2 inches shorter, he'd be 7'2" Terry Rozier. He went 4 for 14 last night.
He is a rookie.
Mike, he's 19.
I'm sorry, you're gonna excuse 4 for 14 by saying he's a rookie?
First game at the Garden.
How old is he? Do I have his age wrong? Like, how? Isn't he? He's still growing.
Guys,
is he not?
Guys, he's taken number 1, and he's cheered on by the masses because he's so tall, and it's unfair. You see that guy go up? It's unfair. Come on,
He was born after the Marlins won their last World Series.
He's not a good basketball player. Not good. He's just tall.
He's just
tall.
he scored.
Jokic, tall and amazing basketball player.
Juju, put it on the poll, please. Can someone call you not a good basketball player when your career high in your 5th game is larger than Bill Russell's?
Yao Ming, tall, good basketball player. Wemby, not there yet. Let's stop crowning this guy.
Okay.
And he doesn't need your help at all.
That is
That's
Mike Ryan and Dan Le Batard going at each other, along with Chris Cody on the Dan Le Batard show with Stu Gotts. Now, he's trying to compare Victor Wembanyama right now to Nikola Jokic, right?
Yeah,
So Nikola
Joker.
Jokic, the Joker, has won multiple MVP awards right now, averaging 29 points per game, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. The best player in the NBA right now, by far, is Nikola Jokic. It is true. But that is a 28-year-old Nikola Jokic. Let's go back to 20-year-old Nikola Jokic, when he was a rookie back in 2015 and 2016. Did he average 29 points per game?
Nope.
He averaged 9.9. Did he average 13 rebounds per game? Nope. He averaged 7. Did he average 8 assists per game? Nope. He averaged 2.
And he wasn't even a high pick in the draft.
Right. And you're right. He was a second round, if I'm not mistaken. Wemby is averaging 18 points and 8 rebounds as a 19-year-old rookie. That says something. But there are a lot of haters out there when it comes to it. There's
bro.
The hatred comes from a lot of different places. First
People
of all,
want to see somebody fail more than people want to see someone succeed. They wish someone failure. They revel in it.
They want to see somebody fail because they wish that guy was on their team.
Exactly.
That is the
They're
number
nothing but
one
haters.
thing about it. If you take a look at it, Rocket fans, for example, hated the fact that the Spurs won the
It
lottery.
was rigged. The whole lottery was rigged.
Yes, it was rigged for the sole purposes of the San Antonio Spurs winning it, right? That was just annoying. But the Spurs have a bright future for a lot of different reasons. One is because they have the generational talent in Victor Wembanyama. He will figure it out. He has the shot. He has the game. But, I mean, keep in mind, he's coming to a new country, Not only is a rookie, coming to a new country, he's playing with a ball that's different than what they play with over there in Europe. It's not the same basketball. The feel is different. The size is different. Speaking of size, the court dimensions are different.
Yeah.
The refereeing's different. It's an entirely different game. And for Wemby to come over here and average 18 points and 8 rebounds so far is a testament to how good he is.
The kid
Imagine
dropped
when
38 points against the Suns.
Yeah, wait till he finally figures it out.
Yeah.
Wait till he finally figures it out. Now, the thing is, you look at the standings right now. The Houston Rockets are 4-3. And the Rockets have been playing some pretty good ball, have won 4 in a row, started the season off 0-3, but have since beat the Hornets, beat the Kings, beat the Lakers, beat the Kings twice, in fact. And part of it is the fact that if you take a look at this team, this Rockets team has young players and they have veterans.
Yeah. Mixture.
It was a mixture. And that was something that I brought up on Twitter earlier this week that a lot of people kind of latched onto. It's amazing whenever I post things on Twitter or X.
Yeah.
People either love it or hate it. And last week when I tweeted out there that Jeremy Sohan is Lonnie Walker, got a bunch of hatred, right?
Hey, Lonnie Walker's not looking that bad lately, dude.
I know.
He's
It took
looking
a while.
good.
Yeah, get away from Pop and suddenly you play well. So I asked the question, are the Spurs too young? And a lot of people kind of chimed in on it because I was mentioning the fact that when you go back to the number 1 overall picks from back in the day, when Robinson was picked back in 1987, first played in 89, you had Terry Cummings on that team.
Willie Anderson.
But Willie Anderson was young. He was a rookie that year.
Yeah.
But you had Terry Cummings. For a while there, you had Maurice Cheeks. You had some veterans that were there. When Duncan was drafted almost a decade later, he had David Robinson there. He had Sean Elliott. He had Avery Johnson.
Yeah, he had established veterans on the team.
Wemby doesn't have that luxury.
Well, that's a testament to the Spurs, though. The Spurs knew exactly what they were doing. So when you're going ahead and trading away your veteran players to go ahead and get picks, draft capital for the upcoming years,
Right.
you know what they're doing. They're tanking.
Right. No, I get that. But the thing is that a lot of people are saying, well, Michael, give them a pass. They're the youngest team in the league. The belief is that they're going to get older, but they're not.
No.
Right now, the Spurs are in line to get a minimum 4 first-round draft picks in the next, let's see here, a minimum of 5 first-round draft picks in the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The Spurs have 3 next year. The Spurs have 2 coming up this year and a potential 3rd one this year because the Spurs have the rights to Charlotte's and they have the rights to
Atlanta too. They have Atlanta.
They have Atlanta's next
Toronto.
year. They've got Toronto's this year. Toronto's is top 6 protected.
Celtics too. Yeah.
The Charlotte one probably won't happen.
Yeah.
So what we're going to see this year is the Spurs are going to have 2 first rounders, more than likely, their own and Toronto's, and they're going to have 3 next year. And the Spurs have like 20 second rounders over the next 5 seasons.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And the Spurs have other first rounders down the road that they're going to be able to pick up, which is great. I'm not complaining about that. But what I'm saying is that if the idea is the Spurs are young, you got to let them figure it out. The Spurs are going to get younger next year and even younger the year after that.
Less and less experience coming in.
Right.
Yeah.
Because those contracts are guaranteed. You don't draft a first rounder and send them to the G League. That's not how it works. They're guaranteed a place on the roster. And if we're going to get rid of somebody, are we going to get rid of Sohan? Are we going to get rid of Keldon? No. We're going to get rid of McDermott. We're going to get rid of C.D. Osman. We're going to get rid of those guys first before we get rid of the people that we drafted.
Well, it's because the thing is that other teams will find a veteran a little bit more attractive than trying to take a chance on a draft pick that really hasn't shown much.
Chris Lehouse saying, y'all assuming they ain't making moves and wait until the deadline. Now, I will say this. Brian Wright has shown the desire to do trades. Traded DeMar DeRozan, traded Jakob Poeltl, flipped Thad Young. All this draft capital came from somewhere. They came from trades. But the thing is that we haven't been trading for players.
No,
We've
they
been
have
trading
not.
for draft capital.
Yeah.
We've been trading for players that ultimately we drop, like Cameron Payne, or there's players that we pick up. We pick up bad contracts. We're not trading for players that are actually going to be part of the
Yeah,
rotation.
they're trading for bad contracts because the ultimate goal is to go ahead and get that draft capital. That's what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just look at it this way. I'm just like, at some point you need to have a veteran. And I'm not saying that guy had to be Dame Lillard, because that would have cost too much.
Oh yeah.
We would have been paying him $60 million towards
You
the
would
end
have
of his
gutted the
contract.
team for him.
We would have
Yeah.
gutted the team. That's not it, right? But there's got to be some sort of veteran presence that comes up that you get through a trade that makes sense.
I'll tell you
And
one
it doesn't
thing.
have to be a superstar, man.
No, it doesn't. But you know what area that the Spurs desperately need some veteran leadership on? They need a guy that can go out there and just guard the wing. They need that 3-and-D guy, because the opposing teams are just shooting lights out on the San Antonio Spurs from beyond the arc, and the Spurs have no answer to it. You're not going to tell me that Jeremy Sohan is going to be that 3-and-D guy,
Right.
or somebody else that they have right now on the team is going to develop into that. They don't have that.
And that's the hope. I mean, I saw
Yeah.
I saw a video today on Twitter of Patrick Beverly. Patrick Beverly saying really high things, positive things about Jeremy Sohan. Sohan, again, played well apparently in the last game. Shot 2 for 4 from 3. It's brought his average up to 28%. Let's see if he can get it above 30. That would be nice. But I look at it this way. The Spurs need to have some sort of vision for what they're trying to do, because the whole goal of getting all of these draft picks was to somehow get a superstar. We got it. Okay, we lucked into it.
Now, what are you going to surround him with?
Exactly.
You know?
now the game changes.
Yeah.
It's not hoping that one of these guys pans out. It is now, what are we going to do to flip these guys for the movable pieces or the pieces that we need to move forward? Because the idea of, well, we're just going to keep drafting these guys and we're going to get better together is nonsense. Because you need to have a winning mentality. You need to know how to win. Winners know how to win. And if you are on a team that is constantly losing, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, either A, they're not going to want to be here, or B, they're not going to know what it's like to be a winner, even if they are in the NBA for 5 or 6 years. And a lot of people are reaching out to me on social media saying, Jimenez, have patience. Have patience, because it's a process. Well, if it is a process, why the hell is Greg Popovich the head coach? Greg Popovich in January will turn 75 years old.
Yeah.
55, 56 years older than his players. Greg Popovich is 9 years older than the second oldest coach in the NBA.
Yeah. Look at the comment
average
here.
age right now of a coach is in the 50s.
Yeah, that's true.
Drew Show reaching out. What's going on, baby? What's it called when they
That's super chat, baby.
Super
he
Chat.
went ahead
There
and
you
paid
go.
for that. You know, I got to make a graphic, so every time they go ahead and pay for the super chat, they get rewarded by some special graphic.
Hey, Drew,
man.
thank you so much for the super chat there. Says, quote, don't play. Josh Primo was their projected starting point guard.
Not a lie.
Sohan,
Yeah.
point guard, is Pop's new pet project like Bryn Forbes. A good GM would trade for a vet point guard to save his senile head coach. Point guard is our only real problem. I agree with point guard being the biggest problem with this team. Drew, I 100% agree. And Pop is set in his ways, man. He is set in his ways. Look what's going on right now in New England with the Patriots. The thoughts that Bill Belichick might be out the door, that he might be on the hot seat this year. This is Bill Belichick, who brought, 5 or 6 rings to Foxborough.
Yeah.
And now Spurs fans are still there going, oh, Pop can just coach forever. And I asked the question on Twitter earlier today, we're going to keep him until 80? Chris Layhouse asking the question, well, who do you bring in to replace him? A younger coach. A younger coach. The Spurs have had so many on coaches Pop's coaching tree, from Ime Udoka to Will Hardy to Budenholzer. I mean, there's been so many coaches that have come from this. Becky Hammond. I mean, there's so much that we've had of talent that has been pissed away because that MFer won't leave. He won't leave.
Oh man.
He has been here since the mid-90s. I am 46 years old. My whole adult life, Greg Popovich has been head coach of the Spurs. It's time for a change. I saw a question from one of the Spurs writers on Twitter asking the question, what is the biggest change that needs to happen for the Spurs to get better?
Who was it?
And
Mike Finger?
It might have
One
been
of those guys.
And,
Yeah,
and my response back was, Pop needs to retire. And people thought, ha, 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 ha. No. And this isn't new, by the way. If you've been following me on social media or followed my old radio show, I've been calling for Pop to be gone 3 years now, running. This isn't a new take, a hot take. I've been saying that Pop needs to go.
Well, I said that years ago with somebody else on radio who shall not be named, but they raked us over coals for saying stuff like that. And we didn't say the Spurs need to fire him. We're just kind of presenting the idea of, is it time for him to kind of give him his, give him that option? You know what? We're going to try to move on, but you can go out, but in a nice way.
Right.
Give him that respect. But I mean, that's really up to the Spurs and Coach Pop. They went ahead and extended him, which tells you they still believe in Pop and they still want him to be here coaching this young core. I know Spurs fans, some of them are now starting to feel like, hey, maybe he needs to go. But if the Spurs extended him, they believe in him.
So they
believe in him. The front office does.
And that's a problem. Right now, coaching tree, Will Hardy, Steve Kerr, Becky Hammond, Mike Budenholzer, Jacques Vaughn, Joe Prunty, Taylor Jenkins, Monty Williams, Mike Brown, Chad Forcier. And then you add all the assistants along the way. Chip Anglin, who's now with Oklahoma City. These guys could have been the successor of Greg Popovich. Who do we have right now on the bench?
Man. Look at this.
Yeah, Chris Gonzalez, Two-Face said it best. You either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain. That is Pop. John Williams asking the same, saying, Steve Kerr would fit the Spurs, but why would Steve Kerr want to leave San Francisco for San Antonio? That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Chris Leha. He says Kerr walked into a star lineup with 3 all-stars, then Kevin Durant. And he's sitting pretty right now. Why is he going to want to leave that to come over here?
Yeah, that was Mark Jackson's team, if I'm not mistaken.
It was. You see, Kerr is driving the car that Mark Jackson bought.
It's like John Gruden made a name for himself in the NFL.
Yeah.
That was Tony Dungy's team.
And you know what? I got to say, too, what one person's very knowledgeable about basketball, even in his ripe old age? Hubie Brown.
Yeah.
Dude's freaking fucking fantastic, bro. Every time he comes out and he's calling a game, you listen to him. It's better. I'd rather give me Hubie Brown all day, somebody who's knowledgeable about the game. Don't give me that bullshit, man. Some of those other announcers, I just hit the mute button. But it's great to hear basketball minds and all that knowledge and how they talk about the game, and they can go ahead and just break things down. I think the Spurs, some way, they believe that is Coach Pop. That Coach Pop is the future for the young core to go ahead and get them there. And then maybe at some point in time when they feel that they're in a good position, maybe then he'll decide to kind of move on. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I do love me some Coach Pop, man.
Well, here's the thing. The problem that you have is, how can we have by far the youngest basketball team with by far the oldest head coach?
No, I get it.
There's a disconnect. By the way, people are asking the question, well, who's going to be next? Who's going to be next? Well, who gives a fuck? Just somebody. Because take a look at this. The head coach of the Utah Jazz is 35 years old. Head coach of the Boston Celtics is 35 years old, or was 35 years old when it was Missoula. Oklahoma City Thunder head coach, 38. Memphis Grizzlies head coach is 39. New Orleans Pelicans head coach, 42. Cavs, 44. You see that? Now look at the teams with the oldest coaches. Tell me if any of these are winners. The Spurs, Pistons, Knicks, Pacers, and Hornets.
No, I can't say that they've lit up any of the charts as of late. I mean, the Knicks are an interesting team.
So I mean, look at that. Look at that. The oldest coaches in the NBA have something in common. None of them are making the playoffs.
I don't know. The Knicks might. They might be flirting with it.
They might. Okay, but they won't make noise.
No. They'll probably be flirting with the play-in.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Get a warm body. Chris Leha giving me shit right now on Twitter saying on our YouTube chat saying that's the dumbest fucking answer ever. Get anybody. Dude, it's called hyperbole, dude. It's called an exaggeration. Get somebody who's qualified to go sit in that seat. Because you know what? Tom Landry at some point was shown the door. Everybody gets shown the door. They say this about coaching. You are hired to be fired. The problem is Pop should have been fired about 5 years ago. And he's still there. And Ime Udoka is gone. And Will Hardy is gone. And Becky Hammond's gone. Remember when Kobe Bryant was a really, really good player, potentially a top 10, 15 player of all time? And then at some point, he stunk up the room. People forget the last 3 or 4 years of Kobe's career.
Yeah, he was already like coming back from an Achilles injury. He was riddled with injury. His body wasn't holding up well.
And it was all selfish. It was him just shooting the ball, and there was nobody there. He didn't pass it to anybody, and he was trashed the last 3 or 4 years of his career. No one remembers that about Kobe Bryant. And he left the Lakers as a dumpster fire, and they went into the tank. That's what Pop is doing to the Spurs.
They went into the tank, but it actually paid off because they got LeBron James. And what happened? They won a chip.
Yeah, but we're not going to get a LeBron James.
Oh, no, I know that. But I'm just saying for them, that's what happened. The Spurs, they have to have a great record. Like in years past, they had the big three, and that was attractive to other, let's say, free agents, to veterans. They wanted to play here because they had a chance at winning or going into the playoffs and going far. Right now, what's the appeal?
Chris Gonzalez right now saying, let's bring in Bill Self. Yeah, he's 61. He's 61. Gentlemen, calm down and take a shot of Buffalo Trace is what Charlie Hernandez is saying. I haven't had Buffalo Trace on this show in a while.
Well, you owe me a bottle of Buffalo Trace.
Hey, did you ever get your case of dose?
No, I haven't yet. Chris Leha, he already bought the case of Modelo. It's Modelo time, fool. So he's going to bring it over here to me.
Matt Lerma says, just live with it, dude. Pop was inducted to the Hall of Fame this year. They're not going to fire him. At some point, he needs to walk away. And I'm not saying to get rid of him from the organization, take his key card and say you can't ever come back.
Jeez,
what I'm saying is kick him up to the front office, make him a scout, make him something, give him a Pat Riley type of job. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying kick him to the curb and not pay the man. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying encourage him to do other things within the development of this team. That's the thing. Tim Gonzalez not excited about the idea of Bill Self. Neither am I. Neither am I. I mean, college ball is so much different than the NBA.
Hey, man, let's go ahead and give a shout out here. We got to go ahead and give a shout out to our boy, the one and only Jeff Garcia. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, I follow Jeff Garcia on Spotify every day. Every day.
Your daily dose of Spurs content.
That's right. He has a lot of content right now on Kens5.com as well. Follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs Zone.
Yeah.
On Twitter and on Threads.
And also, he's our go-to Spurs insider.
We have another
Super chat from
the Drew Show. Quote, must be all the Indian blood in the Bear 210. You guys like death cults. Jerry and the boys now popping the Spurs. Cult leaders don't just walk away.
Oh, God.
That made my day there, Drew Show.
He's calling Coach Pop a cult leader.
No, it is a cult leader, man. They call it In Pop We Trust.
God.
I mean, come on.
Drew's on one today, man. He's on one.
Dallas Cowboys take the field at 3:25 on Sunday, a game you can watch on Fox. taking on the 2-7 New York Giants. They're going to be playing at Jerry World. The Cowboys 3-0 at home. They haven't lost a home game in quite some time. Get this, the Cowboys are favored by 17 points. 17 points in the NFL. Daniel Jones, starting quarterback for the Giants, is out. Has an ACL injury, is out for the year. So the Cowboys are taking on a backup.
You believe in Dakota Rain Prescott to beat the Giants this Sunday?
Yes. There are college teams that could beat this Giants team this Sunday.
All right.
Dude, the spread
I'm sporting my cowboy gear.
There is no other spread that I see that is double digits, and that one's at 17. That one's at 17. No, the Cowboys are going to win that game. The question is, will they catch up to the Eagles? Because the Eagles beat the Cowboys.
No, they ain't going to catch
weekend.
up to them.
It's 2.5 games with the Eagles, man. They have a tough lineup, but the buys this week, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Eagles, 3 of the best teams in the NFL have a bye this week. Travis Kelce was at Patrick Mahomes' charity event last night. There are reports that he might be boarding a plane for Argentina. Travis Kelce was talking about it on his podcast with his brother Jason Kelce.
Who's he going to go see?
New Heights. He says he's going to go get a tan. But performing this weekend in Buenos Aires is Taylor Swift, his girl.
Oh, he's going to go see her, bro. Come on.
That's right, baby. That's right.
The women make your legs weak, Rock. Don't do it, Travis. You're going to have a horrible game.
A lot of people thought it was fake, man. Dude's in love, man.
Oh, yeah.
The dude's in love. And, good
he
for
was
him.
sprung before he was trying to, before he even, try to meet her in person. He was already sprung. He was at that concert. He's trying to give her the friendship bracelet
with his phone number on it.
Yeah, come on. Hey, players
as the kids say, he has the Riz. Now the Cowboys are going to win. Dak's going to go crazy that game. Dak Prescott so far this year with over 2,000 yards passing, 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. The only thing that the Giants have to throw is Saquon Barkley, but they have no quarterback play this weekend. That'll be a runaway. I'm interested in the noon game between the Niners and the Jaguars. The Niners right now 5-3 on the year, starting off the season 5-0,
stinking up the joint now.
0-3. They're coming off a bye. 3 points favorites on the road. They're a 3-point favorite on the road to a Jacksonville Jaguar team that is 6-2 overall. Dude, the Jags win this game and the Niners go 5-4. Dude, we need to pounce on that team. All media needs to pounce on that team and just say what the F is going on with this. Niners somehow favored, but Brock Purdy, 5 interceptions in the last few weeks, man. He is not looking good out there. Christian McCaffrey, all he does is score touchdowns. That's
so
all
maybe
he
the
does.
49ers aren't that team as advertised.
No. Well, but they got better defensively because of some trades that they've pulled off most recently. But the fact of the matter is that offensively, something's up.
Yeah.
And if they go 5-4, that's an uphill battle because Seattle might take off a little bit. And you might have a situation where both the Cowboys and Niners are the wild card.
Well, maybe
teams.
they shouldn't have gotten rid of Jimmy G. He is just sitting down on the bench over there now with the Raiders.
That is true.
He might be ready to come home.
Houston Texans take on the Bengals at noon on CBS. Bengals are by 6.5. Man, they look good. The Bengals look like one of the best teams in the NFL right now, sitting at 5-3.
Yeah, Joey Burrow looking 100 now.
Yeah, he is 100%. He was hurt during the preseason, and you can tell the first couple of games.
Yeah.
He was out there trying to sling
He's
the
on
ball
one leg,
at
man.
50% was not going to happen. Texans, though, CJ Stroud coming on in, 14 touchdowns thrown, 1 interception.
And he's a rookie.
ESPN brought up a really good point the other day. I was watching Greeny, and Dan Orlovsky brought up the question. He goes, if you put CJ Stroud's stats up and you didn't attach a name to it, and you just said, what do you think about this player's stats? Yards per attempt, completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio, all that stuff, that you would look at that person and say that they're an MVP candidate. And that person is CJ Stroud. How lucky the Houston Texans were to back out, because had they had the number 1 overall pick, they would have taken Bryce Young. But because of a last-minute win last season, that wrecked the chances of them getting the number 1 overall pick, they picked at 2. They got CJ Stroud instead, and that was the better player. People are like, oh, well, they don't have a lot of good quarterbacks coming out of Ohio State. Doesn't matter. Every player is different out there. Every player is different, and it's so exciting to see that. My New Orleans Saints on the road against the Minnesota Vikings, Derek Carr, the offense looking a lot better. Oh man, we go 6-4. We're making the playoffs,
Man.
baby. We're making the playoffs.
Freaky Drew Show stirring up the chat right now. He's still on his high horse here, calling out Coach Pop as the cult leader.
Oh, he is a cult leader. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. UTSA football undefeated right now in the American Athletic Conference.
My God, how can Trailer say that, man?
He says we're undefeated.
We're undefeated, bro. You're undefeated in conference play, man.
It's a nighttime game. They're taking on Rice at 6:30.
That's comical to me. We're undefeated. We're undefeated.
6:30 tomorrow at the Alamo Dome.
Are you gonna get there? You'll be
Oh my
litty.
God, that's a long time to be tailgating.
Man, your liver's gonna say no mas.
I haven't had. Oh, and I did have alcohol in my.
No,
drink.
don't be lying, because we saw the video of you taking the shots of Fireball.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, I hadn't had anything to drink.
What
all
did you
week.
say? If they score more than 150, we take a shot.
Take a shot out of anger and pain.
Fireball's so freaking nasty, bro. It's disgusting.
Yeah, a lot of people give me crap about that. Like Fireball is the worst thing that you can do. I
Oh
mean,
no,
come
the
on.
worst thing you could do is take a shot of Jaeger. Jaeger's
Oh.
freaking. If you're drunk as hell and someone brings you a shot of Jaeger, that's
Yeah.
gonna push you over the edge. That's puke and rally.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
Jaeger's nasty.
It's nasty.
but
dude.
but you know what? When they had what was it, Jaeger bombs back in the day with the Fireball?
okay,
I mean, that was pretty good, but just taking it by itself absolutely
it's like
sucks.
cough syrup or something. It's just disgusting.
Mike Baez says of Bear County Social Apparel, we'll be out there at the tailgate around 3. I probably will be too. I don't know if I'll get there at 3, maybe 3:30 or 4. I'm usually in lot 3 is where I'm typically at. The game's going to be on ESPNU because ESPN is showing no love to UTSA. But that's what happens when you start the season 1-3. That's just what happens. After this game, UTSA takes on South Florida on the 17th, and then they wrap it up with the big game to end the year, the day after Thanksgiving. The Roadrunners will have more time to prepare to take on Tulane out there in New
Hey, man,
Orleans.
Tulane's a
That
good
might
team.
determine who wins this conference. Tulane, SMU, and UTSA all undefeated.
That's going to be a big time matchup for
Yeah.
UTSA. And you know what? We can't forget about UT. Can they redeem themselves in that overtime win that they had against Kansas City or Kansas State, should I say, where they beat them last week, 33-30 in OT. They dipped down, or no, they stayed pat where they're at.
Yeah, they're taking
But
on TCU.
TCU, if they go ahead and they beat TCU big, then they can probably maybe try to move up in the rankings a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they all they got to do is keep winning. Just keep
That's all they
winning.
got to do.
Just keep winning.
But you know what? The interesting game to me this month for UT is that big game that they have coming up here against Texas Tech in the month of November the 24th.
Yeah.
Texas Tech, Red Raiders, baby. You know, I got to go ahead and make a side bet here with my boy Chris Leha. I'm feeling 2 cases of beer.
Leha, dude, you're gonna be owing him beer for days. We're gonna
Yeah.
have Jeff Garcia on in about 5 minutes from Locked On Spurs. He's gonna help me do the movie review over here.
Man, if I get Leha for another case of beer, I might not have to buy anything for New Year's or nothing, bro. Just have
Yeah.
that ready to go.
So let's get some entertainment news.
You have the cool thing is now what we did with the system. You see that little button right there on the table?
Yeah.
You see that screen right in front of you?
I pushed the button.
Entertainment news. Push the button
Oh shit!
and push it again, and it'll stop.
Entertainment news. Very
Yeah.
nice. Look at you giving me toys.
It's not there just for looks, brother.
Giving me toys. Look at that. Ooh, this is exciting. Hey, on the way over here, I was checking out the Grammy nominations. They were announced at 10 a.m. San Antonio time, and all you heard was the same names being read all over the place, man. It's going to be a big night for either Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, SZA, or Miley Cyrus, because those are the names you heard the most when it came to the nominations. So let's take a look at it.
Didn't have my girl there, BB.
BB Rex, I think, was nominated twice, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go over the big nominations, right? So for album of the year, these are the big categories. You have Boy Genius, Janelle Monáe, John Batiste, Lana Del Rey, Miley Cyrus, Olivia Rodrigo, SZA, and Taylor Swift. Those 8 are going for album of the year. Record of the year: Billie Eilish, Boy Genius, John Batiste, Olivia Rodrigo, SZA, Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Victoria Monet. 7 of the 8 are the same. Song of the year.
Taylor Swift. I know she's in
Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, John Batiste, Lana Del Rey, Miley Cyrus, Olivia Rodrigo, SZA, and Taylor Swift. Now, the thing about it is that you might ask the question, well, wait a minute, did Billie Eilish have a new album this year?
there. It was because she had a song come out.
She was part of the Barbie soundtrack.
Exactly.
That was basically it. Best pop solo performance, only 5 nominees. Billie Eilish for What Was I Made For? Doja Cat for Paint the Town Red. Miley Cyrus, Flowers. That was a huge song. Olivia Rodrigo with Vampire. And Taylor Swift for Anti-Hero. Best duo or group performance, Labyrinth with Billie Eilish. Lana Del Rey with John Batiste. Miley Cyrus with Brandi Carlile. SZA with Phoebe Bridgers. And Taylor Swift with Ice Spice. Again, all you keep hearing is Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, Billie Eilish.
Man.
Let's go away from that. Best rap album.
They better not say Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Oh, come
No.
on.
Best rap albums. Drake and 21 Savage, Killer Mike, Metro Boomin, Nas, Travis Scott. Best rap performance will be between Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar. Black Thought, Coi Leray, Drake, 21 Savage, Killer Mike with Andre 3000. Country. We're talking about Kelsey Ballerini, Lainey Wilson. She's hot. Tyler Chandler, Zach Bryan, and Brothers Osborne. Best rock album. And by the way, people asking the question, they still have the Grammys? When is that shit? It's in February. Best rock album. Foo Fighters, Metallica, Greta Van Fleet, Paramore, and Queens of the Stone Age.
Wow.
I like it.
I like that.
I like it.
Greta Van Fleet. Have you heard them? They're
Yeah,
really
they're
good,
good.
man.
They're
They're
really
kind of like they're harking back to like a throwback sound. You know,
Best rock performance. Arctic Monkeys, Black Pumas, Boy Genius, Foo Fighters, and Metallica. Best alternative album. Gorillaz, Boy
I like
Genius,
me some Gorillas, man.
Arctic Monkeys, Lana Del Rey, PJ Harvey. Let me see. Let me look at.
And I like the Arctic Monkeys too. They've had some bangers.
I know BB Rexa was nominated for something. I heard her name. Let me see. BB Rexa, your girl.
Look at this, what they're saying. Lainey Wilson is a butterface. Chris Leha.
Lainey Wilson doesn't matter. Lainey Wilson's hot, dude.
AF Blue 82 watching this from YouTube says, love Lainey's sound.
Oh yeah, Lainey Wilson, if I'm not mistaken, she was on Yellowstone, right? Yeah, she was one of the actresses on there. Beautiful, beautiful girl. Is she a butterface? Well, she's got.
I lost track of the time, my friend. We got to go ahead and get my boy on.
We're gonna get Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 on
He's
because
probably texting.
it is time for the movie review.
Yep. Let's go ahead and get him in here, man. Jeff's probably like, man, Jimenez is big time in me. Let me go ahead and get him on.
So we do the movie reviews, by the way, because apparently I'm the only one that was sheltered in the 80s and 90s when it came to certain movies. I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up. I watched all the John Hughes movies. I watched all the, I watched a lot of Matthew Broderick movies. I saw Back to the Future, and that was basically a Karate Kid and Rocky. That was it. I watched nothing else growing up.
Best scene, introduction to Back to the Future is when he's playing that little guitar. And he has that big old freaking speakers behind him.
Yeah.
And he's cranking everything up. And he just hits that one note.
and it throws them all the way back. We got Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 on. What's going on, Jeff Garcia?
Nothing much, but hey, I got a quick question for you, and I think you were answering it right now, but I didn't catch it. How come you did not see all these movies as a kid? Were you active outside? Were your parents, were they strict with you? Like, why didn't you see Bloodsport or
all of the above, dude? All of the above.
Your parents were strict?
If I tried watching Bloodsport at age 11, 12, 13 years old in my house, my mom would have turned it off immediately.
So your parents would have shut off the TV then?
Yeah, so part of it was that. But even when I went to friends' houses and they would watch movies like this, I would rather play video games. I would rather watch sports.
So you wanted to watch sports, video games, stuff like that?
Exactly. And it's funny because like people don't have any faith in me when it comes to watching this, because this is stuff that people watched that were like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. And I'm watching it as a 46-year-old. you know, on a 65-inch screen in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And I'm just there, just trying to watch and absorb it for the first time. Now, there's certain movies that you have asked me to watch, Jeff, like Big Trouble in Little China, which I thought was trash.
Yeah, you didn't give it a chance.
No, I did give it a chance. I gave it 30 minutes, and I was like,
you got to
this
watch
is
it
not-
before end. Joe, can you believe he missed the low pan egg fight?
Oh,
I mean, he missed the. I mean, the payoff is awesome.
But the thing is that, Jeff, you got to understand too, like Big Trouble in Little China's like out there, bro. It's way out there. It's a cult classic for a reason. It's not everybody's cup of tea. And I could see if this is your first introduction to it and you're not really, this is not your genre, I could see why you walked.
Now, Warriors was another movie that I thought was awful. Though I did like the scene, the iconic scene of Warriors.
The bottles on the fingers.
come out
Clink,
to play.
clink.
Which, by the way, I saw a mural of that guy downtown. I
Did you
didn't
know
take a
that's-
photo of that.
Did you know that line was improvised?
It was. But did you know there's a mural of that guy downtown by the Alamo
where?
Dome?
No, I didn't know that.
I was driving down 37 the other day and I saw it. I was like, dude, that's the guy from Warriors, and with the bottles. I got to go take a photo in front of it. That's so funny.
You got to make it quick, short. Come out and play.
so Delta Force was the most recent movie review I did with Chuck Norris, and I gave it a good review. I actually enjoyed it. I was actually impressed.
Yeah, Delta Force was pretty
that
good.
there was
it
a
got a little
plot.
cheesy at the end, but it had a plot. It was pretty good.
All right, so Bloodsport came out in 1988, and it stars Jean-Claude Van Damme. You do see towards the end Forrest Whitaker, a very young Forrest Whitaker out there.
Yeah, you do.
And basically, it's about a guy that goes AWOL from the military. I believe he's in the Navy. He goes AWOL to take part in some sort of tournament. I want to say it was in Hong Kong of like Fight Club. Let's call it what it is.
Basically Fight Club. Yeah. It was,
This movie was a hybrid of Karate Kid and Fight Club and Delta Force.
And you would have to
together.
add into Street Fighter as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
And this movie ultimately became the inspiration for Mortal Kombat and Johnny Cage and things like that.
Yep.
So this is a cult classic. Made a lot of money compared to, it was a low budget movie. A little bit intrigued at first because, you know, when you watch these movies that are Asian inspired, oftentimes it's like dubbed.
Yeah.
The audio is dubbed, but even the English was dubbed. It appeared as though that there was something wrong with it. Like it didn't match the words, and the lips did not match all the time.
You mean you're talking about the scene where the guy goes, "Okay, USA"?
Yeah. I mean, all of that. But it was interesting because the first minute of the movie, I'm like, hey, there's Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds was one of the few movies from one of the no-no movies that you're not supposed to watch as a kid.
That and Porky's.
I did watch Nerds, but I didn't watch Porky's growing up. I did watch Porky's last year, though.
You were deprived, Jimenez.
Yeah.
So here's some things, man. I will say this. There were some great lines in the movie. Okay. So the movie starts off, you know, that he's a kid and he and his friends are trying to steal some katana swords from this guy. And he gets caught, but he's not really trying to steal them. He thinks that it's wrong. And he gets taken in. They teach him the way of fighting and the style that guy fights in. He gets basically tortured by this guy to be like mind over matter, mind over body and all that stuff. I posted that photo of him doing the drawn and quartered stretch or whatever that is. That was pretty brutal. I don't know if that was real or not, but it was a pretty interesting visual. Early on in that tournament, Ogre almost killed a guy. He karate chopped him from on the top of the head.
They just clubbed him in the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Van Damme knocks out the first guy really fast and breaks a record, which pisses off the main villain guy, who, by the way, that guy was not ripped. He was a tank.
Yeah, he was built like a tank. Yeah.
Dude, that guy was huge.
Was that Bolo Young? I think that's his name.
Oh, really?
Bolo Young. Yeah, Bolo. Yeah. That guy was just a beast. But he was quick for his size. And he was pretty swift.
He's athletic, man.
He was very athletic despite being a big, bulky, villain guy. And he
was good.
Yeah.
He was good.
Yeah, he threw some good punches.
He was good. The Navy tries to come back and take Van Damme back. I don't know if they're going to court-martial him or what, but they were trying to get him back.
That was cheesy,
some
bro.
silly scenes when it comes to that. Of course, there's a blonde reporter that's in the mix that is trying to get the scoop on this whole thing.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all that, I have to watch Van Damme put his chones back on.
Yeah.
I could have done without that. One of my favorite characters in the movie, Jeff, was the hugger. Like that guy that didn't fight, he just grabbed you, just like
Squeeze the shit out of you.
the shit out of you.
He was. I think he may have been the inspiration for the sumo fighter in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
That reminded me
think
of
he
that
was.
scene from
Yeah.
was it Nacho Libre, where he grabs that guy and he's like, Anaconda squeeze.
Hey, that big Asian dude that's the main villain, the snot rockets that he was doing. What was that? Like every time they're gonna start, he has to do a snot rocket
He's all,
left and
Hey,
right.
everybody has their tradition. Tim Duncan hugged the basketball.
Can you imagine?
Clears his nose.
Can you imagine you doing that right before you referee one of these games? You're out there on the court, Jimenez, in front of all the kids and the parents. Shh, shh. All right, let's go.
Okay, so I was really out, and I don't even know his name in the movie, but Ogre, when Ogre almost took out the villain.
Oh, yeah.
and then he starts
Exactly.
showboating.
yeah.
I got him. I got him.
What an idiot, man.
I was like, quit celebrating. Finish the guy. Finish the guy. Speaking of finish the guy, and this being like Mortal Kombat, there was a scene in there where the main villain was gonna like basically take the soul out of this guy, and the guy is wobbling like in the car, like in the video game. You know,
Yeah.
like he's just wobbling
Finish
back
him.
and forth. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. There were some good lines in there. Oh God, I was trying to write down the lines, but there was a line in there where it was like, I don't know, there was like this skinny Asian dude who was kind of like their guide.
Yeah.
You know, he was like something to the effect of what make sure your head doesn't get taken off your neck or something like that effect.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
Yeah.
a great line. That was a great line. Okay, so let's go back into this. Go back into the movie review. I kind of liked the movie.
It kept your interest?
It kept my interest.
Okay.
I mean, it was comical. It kept my interest. The areas that I thought were kind of interesting were the music selections, which, by the way, this movie was nominated for a Grammy, not an Oscar. It was nominated for a Grammy.
That was like some hair metal shit. From
Yeah.
back in
No,
the day.
it was a great soundtrack. You know, as
Yeah.
a matter
Well,
of fact,
there-
the singer that sang a few songs on the Bloodsport soundtrack actually sang some songs on the Transformer '86 album too.
Now it makes sense. Starting to come together now.
yeah. Well, the guy that so there's a scene in there when Van Damme is running away from the Navy after they tried to like shock him to like
Yeah.
come back, and he's running away, and the music selection, it's like a chase going on. Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
match.
The song was called "Steal the Night."
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
match what's going on. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Hey, man, the budget, they can only do so much with it, man.
Van Damme doing a split, and the guy from Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds coming at him and saying, "You might want to stop doing that. You might want to have kids one of these days."
Yeah.
Great line. Great line.
Hey, but Ogre survived.
but-
Didn't Ogre
but-
survive? He was in the hospital
He
like
was.
at the end.
Yeah, he got curb stomped literally on his head. But what made the movie so great, awesome, is not only is it action packed, and you got Ogre, you got Van Damme doing his thing, but I mean, just even I don't think it was intentional, but the unintentional nerd outs that they have during the movie. Like for example, we see Van Damme and Ogre playing karate on a video game.
yeah.
You know, there's that. You know, there's the '80s music. There's young Forrest Whitaker. I mean, this thing was just dripping with so much nostalgia and so much that we wanted as kids in the '80s, packed into one movie. It was just awesome.
You know where I saw this movie at, Jeff? And I did see it in the theater. I
Yeah.
actually saw it at the Mission Drive-In. It was like,
Oh, interesting.
you know how they
Yeah.
have when you go there and you go to the Mission Drive-In from
Yeah.
back in the day, you're going to watch more than one movie because it's like a double
Yeah,
feature, you
It's just
know?
a double feature. Yeah.
But if you're an Ezio like me and you're there watching the movie, the double feature, you're also scoping out the other screens
Yeah, it's
because
easy
you're
to do
seeing
that.
the other
Yeah.
Nestio movies
Yeah.
that they have. Oh, I just
Yeah.
saw a boobie, you know, with your cousins, and you all are looking, look, you know. So I
Now,
remember that.
now the thing about this is that what I like about this is going back in time. By the way, Van Damme was nominated for a Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actor, but he didn't win.
The
Okay.
Razzie.
I believe that was his first real like main leading actor role.
He wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. It was very campy. But my favorite thing about this is going back and reading the fact that at the end of the movie, they have like the words on the screen that says that this was based on real life events or something, or inspired by real life events.
Supposedly real life events.
And it's about a guy named Frank Dux, who by the way is the name of the character in the movie.
Can you believe he meant to say Ducks?
Yeah,
Dukes. That's right.
Ducks.
It's all the same, dude. It's all the same. But anyway, turns out that all the stuff that he was saying was bullshit.
Pretty much.
That there were articles written about this Fight Club type of thing going on in Hong Kong, and all of this stuff going on, and it was corroborated by another person who was apparently a witness, who later on said that it was not true, and it was all debunked. So all of this whole thing about this Fight Club type of scenario going on in the mean streets of Hong Kong was nonsense. But
that guy's a dumbass for making up the story, because he could have actually sold it and made a game or something out of it.
Well,
Mortal Kombat.
He sold it to this movie because he was actually part of the development of this movie. So it goes in line with like the Hot Cheetos guy.
Oh, okay.
Where it's all just bullshit, but it makes for a good movie.
I invented Hot Cheetos.
Yeah.
Okay, Let Her Great Time. Let Her Great Time.
Hey, you know what? We do have a recommendation for your next movie, man. And I don't know if you've seen it or not. Over the Top. It is on Netflix.
Ooh, good one.
I will watch it, but I'll be honest. Air Force Blue 82. I'll be honest with you. I think I might have seen it. I'll review it anyway, but I'll put a disclaimer out there that I might have seen it because I remember, and I don't know if it's because I saw clips of it, but I remember the whole thing about getting the cap and putting it backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then I remember the fingers thing that he would do.
Yeah, they go like that.
Was that with Henry Thomas?
No, it was not Henry. It was not Henry Thomas. No.
Okay. It was Sylvester Stallone.
No.
Right. Well, I knew it was Sly Stallone, but the little boy.
No.
But Henry Thomas.
What I like about Over the Top too was those side chats, documentary style, where it's like you're not in the movie, but they have these like out in the corner interviews with all the fighters, and they're very like matter of fact, and like they're not talking trash like overtly, but they are. They're like, yeah, I got Falcon. Hawk next, but I'm gonna rip his head off. That's all.
I don't.
And they'll go back to the scene. I love those cutaways they did.
I don't remember the plot line other than truck driver and arm wrestling. So it might be good to go revisit. Maybe we'll revisit it all together.
Yeah.
But I am being honest when it comes to these movie reviews, because so many people have come up to me and said, there's no way in the world you didn't see any of these movies. And I've done like 50 of them over the past
and you've already
3
explained
years.
why you had.
And I'm like, no, I'm being legit. But if there is one that I've seen before, I will let you know. Like if it comes to mind.
What about the Naked Gun? Have you ever seen the Naked Gun?
I love the Naked Gun. Dude.
Naked Gun's freaking hilarious,
dude,
bro.
I mean, goodness, man. O.J. Simpson was so
Leslie
good.
Nielsen.
What is this? Some kind of bust? Yes, it's very impressive.
That comedy right there is right up your alley, dude.
I had nice beaver. Thanks. I had it stuffed just last week.
The other one that's good too is like the Police Academies. I don't know if you ever seen those.
Oh, dude. You know what? That is the Police Academy movies are actually the ones that I got away with because my dad would watch them.
Ah, okay.
So I fell in love with Kim Cattrall really early, and I know she was a poor later on.
Damn.
But I fell in love with her on that movie. Dude, I love Tackleberry and Hooks.
That's probably the flick
Jones.
that Mike watched, and he's like, this is the moment that he no longer played with toys.
And when I saw Kim Cattrall in the shower, that shower scene,
Nugget.
No, that's Hall of Famer. Dude, Kim Cattrall in the 80s.
She's hot.
Kim
bro.
Cattrall in the
So
80s
hot,
is like
man.
on the Mount Rushmore of hotties of the 80s. Okay, 80s hotties, Mount Rushmore. Oh, by the way, I'll give the movie review on Bloodsport. I'll give it a B+.
A B+?
There you go.
What would you get it? We'll do it out of a 5-star rating. Out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
3.5.
3.5. Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah,
You're out of your mind, Jimenez. You're out of your mind.
I gave it a
Hey,
B plus.
You're talking about Jimenez here. He's very critical, Jeff. So 3.5 is actually a very good score.
It's an A-worthy movie.
Oh shit!
But this is Jimenez's movie review. If he wants to give it 3.5, I'll respect it.
A movies are the ones that I saw most recently that I'd never seen
Everybody
before.
listening right now, get them.
That was like Terminator. Terminator was an A movie, right? I had not seen Terminator before. That was an A movie.
Have you seen Aliens or Aliens 2?
I saw Aliens and I gave it a good review as well.
Aliens or Aliens 2?
Did not see 2.
You need to see part 2.
Yeah, because Alien, the old one
rocks.
Okay,
bro. Part 2.
I've seen 1.
No,
one was
man.
slow. One was slow.
Part 2, you're gonna be like, "What the f is this, dude?" It's so freaking good, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
serious.
awesome. It's
You got to watch
ridiculously
that one.
awesome.
Okay, here's the thing.
And I would recommend to find the director's cut.
Yeah,
because a
extended
lot of
scenes.
because a lot of the extended scenes were cut out of the movie, but the extended scenes are just insanely awesome. Why you leave watching the director's cut saying, "Why did they cut this out?"
It's Marines. It's like Space Marines.
Yeah,
you know, fighting these damn things. It's pretty badass, dude.
I'll check it out. Let's go back to the Mount Rushmore of 80s hotties.
Kim Cattrall,
Tawny Katane.
Oh yeah, no doubt there.
I would go on and say Heather Locklear. And Sentimental would it be Phoebe Cates?
Yeah.
Some Fast Times.
I would throw in there Susanna Hoffs.
Oh my goodness, she was my first crush. Susanna Hoffs was my first crush. But I don't see her as like hot. Like she was like really pretty, you know. I love her.
What about Nicole Eggert? Remember her?
Nicole Eggert from
Charles in Charge, Baywatch.
I knew her more from Baywatch.
Yeah.
Charles in Charge. What a shitty show that was.
I'll throw in the Baroness from G.I. Joe.
Oh, bro.
I gotta look that one up.
Damn.
The Baroness?
Yeah.
From G.I. Joe.
I've never
What was the name of the actress? She came out in King Kong. What was her name? Damn, I don't remember her name, but she's freaking hot, dude.
The Baroness? Is this like a real person or is it like a cartoon?
No, it's not a real. It's not a real.
Oh,
from G.I. Joe.
Come on, man. Are we talking about cartoons?
No. It's from the film.
Movie?
The film. Look, he's talking about it. Yes, it's from the cartoon, but the live action movie.
I was like, okay, are we gonna go Mrs. Extendable? Is that where we're gonna go at this point?
No.
Because she's thick.
That's up Jimenez's alley right there for sure.
Jesus.
Do you have to show any love for anybody else today?
There was another actress from the 80s, but I don't remember her name right off the top of my head. I'm trying to look her up.
Jeff, B plus.
You're out of your mind.
It's a good rating, dude.
You're out of your mind.
It's a good rating.
You're out of your mind.
It is a
You're
good rating. B plus.
You're not seeing the big picture here.
The big picture was what? It was.
It launched Van Damme's career. It launched his career into other
and
cheesy, awful, but
you
really
said cheesy and awful.
You know who else was really hot back then?
Who's that?
Erica Eleneka.
Never heard
Who's
of
that,
bro.
Yeah. You got me on that one.
I'll show y'all some pictures, bro.
You're putting it up on the screen.
I'm gonna show y'all some pictures, man.
We haven't had a Nessie Friday in a while.
Thirst Trap.
Oh, she was on Baywatch.
She was on Baywatch. Here we go. I'll go ahead and transition there. She was a hottie, bro.
Not bad. Not
She was
bad.
cute, man.
You forgot Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, but Alyssa Milano didn't turn like 18 until like later on. So I'll say that about Charmed Alyssa Milano, but not. Even though we were of age to look at that. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go with 90s Alyssa Milano. I mean, the same could be said about Christina Applegate, or who are the other ones, man? I used to love Jennifer Love Hewitt. That was a late 90s one.
She was, man. She's still like on the top tier, dude.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. Yeah, even at 40 something. Someone asked the question, John Williams, did you ever have a Farrah Fawcett poster? Did not, but I do respect it though.
The girl from Weird Science, what was her name, Jeff?
Kelly LeBrock.
Kelly LeBrock.
Yeah,
Whoa, my
that was
God.
That was Weird Science. Yeah.
You saw Weird Science,
I
right?
did watch Weird Science. Yeah.
Shit.
It turns into a turd.
80s was a weird time, bro.
Yeah, some of these movies are bad, dude. They're just bad. But no, Weird Science was a great movie.
I would throw in from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Mia Sarah.
Mia
yeah.
Sarah, dude.
She was
The girl
cute,
next
man.
door hot. She was pretty hot, man. But that was fun. Everyone have a safe weekend out there. Jeff Garcia, thanks for being on. What are you working on today on Los and on Cans5.com?
Yeah, exactly. We just announced. Well, not we didn't announce, but we shared the news that the largest pot or jackpot ever won in Spurs Give 50-50 history was given. Some guy just walked into the AT&T Center on opening night, just gave the Spurs Give 50-50 raffle $40. He walked away with over $26,000. So that went out. A new Locked On Spurs with Rudy Campos is out already. And all those Fred's Fish Fry mock-up jerseys and shorts and pants from our good friend over at Bear County. We put a story about him and what he's doing. So that's all at Cans5.com/Spurs.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job. I do need to get that, man. I do need to get the Fred's Fish Fry. And I just want to wear it to like a family outing, like Thanksgiving Day or the day after Thanksgiving.
I'm expecting the Frost Center to start being covered with that. Because as once the orders get in to everybody, you're going to see everybody walking around with the French fish fry.
And then comes the cease and desist order for Mike Bias.
You're going to see RC Buford
coming fast too.
RC Buford be over there at the Stars and Saddles Club or something like that. He's going to see some guy wearing that. Where'd you get that? Yep. You're wearing my logo on there. Cease and desist.
Grab the money fast, Mike.
Get it while you can, brother.
Get it in, Mike. Hurry up and get it in.
Very nice. Everyone have a safe weekend. Again, UTSA football. Late start tomorrow, 6:30 at the Alamo Dome. Got the Spurs tonight. First play-in tournament game. They also play on Sunday against the Heat. T-Wolves tonight. Let's see if they can come back. Be back at 500 when we come back here on Monday. Cowboys, 3:25 start against the Giants, favored by 17 points. Texans on the road against the Bengals. My Saints on the road against the Vikings. Lots going on this weekend. Texas Longhorns against TCU. Big game for UT. Got to get back on track. They won last week, but they got to get back on track again this week. Lots going on. Follow us on social media. Joe is at Two Shots Podcast. I'm at MJ Acquired Taste. Jeff Garcia is at Jeff G Spurs Zone. Everyone have a great weekend. If you see me out there.
We forgot. Before we go ahead and end the show, we got to go ahead and give some love to MCS.
Oh, that's what I was asking for earlier. Go ahead.
MCS General Contracting. More than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, that is live drone footage. Your business, you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks. Reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. And you know what? Since my schedule is going to change, and when I get into my normal schedule, I'm going to be off on Fridays. After we do a show here in studio, we got to go and at some point go visit Chris on site, just to get some video and some pictures and stuff.
Very cool.
It'll be fun.
Looking forward to it all. Everyone have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll be at the tailgate tomorrow. Come by, say hi. I'll be on lot 3.
Yeah. And you do make trades. You have always a healthy dose of shots.
I usually bring about 20 shots of Fireball and about 20 shots of bourbon.
You got any burgers or something you want to trade? Michael, go ahead and barter with you.
That's it. That's what I do. All right. Everyone have a safe weekend. Be back on Monday.
We'll see you boys later. Peace.